Welcome back. This is the South African Morning. Now, Dame Prue Leith has been the toast of the cooking world for some time now. So it's no surprise that she's created a cookbook about, well, just that, toast. Bliss on Toast contains 75 recipes for you, of course, to try out as spruce up heated pieces of bread. However, Prue doesn't propose just slapping on butter and some cheese. Some of the recipes include grilled chicken tikka with yogurt, on naan and bubble and squeak with a bit more of your fried bread. Among others, the author, of course, cook and Great British Bake Off judge, joins us now to tell us more about the inspiration behind Bliss on Toast. Prue, thank you for your time. Good morning.
Thanks, Jamela.
Thanks for coming through. I mean, what inspired you sharing 75 recipes that we can try on how to make our toast experience a lot more exciting?
Well, you know what? I think that if anything tastes good on a plate, it tastes even better on toast.
Right.
I mean, I think toast provides that bit of carbohydrate and crunch. And so you can put almost anything on toast. I mean, one of my favorite ones sounds so surprising, but it's basically a Caesar salad on toast.
Wow.
But if you think about Caesar salad, the best thing about it is the croutons, isn't it? So if you, instead of having croutons, you have a fried piece of bread,
yeah,
and then I like scallops on it. So you put the Caesar salad on, and at the last minute add your chicken or your hot scallops. Or
I think what I also find interesting is that you cater for all types of people. If you're vegan or if you're vegan or vegetarian, if you love your meat, if you love your salads, everyone can find something they will enjoy.
I'm sure, and also I think that it's not a real cookbook. You know, you don't have to be able to cook. You just have to be able to assemble.
Right.
And I hope that I don't think people will necessarily follow the recipes very literally. But if they get inspiration from it and they think, oh, well, I could use butternut squash there instead of pumpkin, or I could use blackberries instead of raspberries. You know, you don't have to do what it says.
Right.
You have to just think what goes with what and what bread you want to put it on.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, we've all got so boring about bread. We go to the supermarket, we buy the same loaf
over and
week after week. But why not buy focaccia one week and you know, a baguette the next week and a sliced seeded loaf? Or
yeah, you know what I appreciate about what you're saying is that you don't have to have that experience with different types of breads in a restaurant, because oftentimes we try that out, we're like, oh, this looks good, it tastes good, but you can find it in your local store, supermarket, try it at home, and actually find ways, creative ways of enjoying bread.
We did put some, there's a little chapter at the end called For Keen Cooks, so it does tell you how to make your own hollandaise or your own mayonnaise or your own flatbread or your own whatever, if you want to. But you don't have to. You can buy all those things.
You can buy it too.
You know, and so.
Well, I like the option of also
we
baking.
tested them both with supermarket products. You know, for example, I don't know whether you can get this too readily in South Africa, but there's one which is a Peking duck hoisin sauce, sort of Chinese thing. Well, you can buy in supermarkets a duck leg which is already in the hoisin sauce, and all you do is put it under the grill.
I like that. Any recipes that are also fun for kids, because it's back to school period now, and I'm sure they're bored with moms, you know, the usual butter or peanut butter or just cheese and polony. They want something a bit more exciting, of course, as they kickstart school.
And also for students, I think if you're going off to university for the first time and you can't cook, the best way to make friends is to do good food. And this is a really good start. There are lots of them that are very inexpensive. There's one in here called Student Heaven, which is basically baked beans with sausages in it.
That's going to be interesting.
It's not advanced, but it is delicious. So I think it's a good student book or first year book. And everybody likes something comforting and not too expensive,
convenient,
sort of Sunday night supper.
Right, yeah, absolutely. I want to also talk about your journey with, you know, cooking and, you know, assembling some of your recipes and, you know, food. When did you actually get bitten, and excuse the pun here, by the cooking and, you know, baking bug?
It was when I was at university in France, and you can't live in France because without. You'd have to have dead taste buds not to notice that they care about food. Yeah. So I got interested in them. But you know, I've got another book just out, which is called I'll Do Anything Once. And it's an autobiography because I'm nearly 83, so I've had a long life. Yeah. And I've had time to do a lot of different things. So You know, I've written a lot of cookbooks. I've written a lot of novels, and I've had 2 cookery schools. One of them is the Culinary Institute in Pretoria here, and I don't own that, but I'm very involved with it, and it's called the Prue Leith Culinary Institute. And so I have cookery schools and restaurants and a Michelin star restaurant, and I've been on lots of big business boards because I love business. I love trading. I mean, these specs are specs by Prue. Oh, and there's 72 colours. I could give an advertisement for them. Wow. So, I mean, I love business and I love food. Yeah. And I love novels.
And I suppose before I let you go, even with your involvement in competitions and having to judge other chefs and aspiring chefs, have you discovered new recipes, new things, even with the long years you have behind you cooking?
Oh, of course, of course. I mean, the thing about cooking, one of the most wonderful things about cooking is that it changes all the time. It's like fashion. It changes a lot. And so you learn all the time, and you nick ideas from other people all the time. All chefs do it. And then they put their own spin on it, and then somebody else nicks that and changes it. And it's very exciting. I mean, to be frank, I'm a bit out of date on top gastronomy, because I've been very busy on the simple things like toast. But so I don't know all the top chefs anymore. But over my career, I've certainly known them. And now with Bake Off, I know an awful lot of bakers, and I've eaten a lot of good cake.
Right.
My husband complains, though. He says that our house is a cake-free zone. He never gets cake. And I say it's because we're both too fat. We can't have cake.
For cake.
But it's also because I'm not really much of a baker, but I am a good set of taste buds, so I can do the job.
Listen, he has tasted so many good food. I'm sure he can judge on what needs to stay away now, because he's tasted all the food that you have had to cook in the household. But thank you so much, Prue, for joining us. And thank you for bringing us this copy. Remember, you can get yourself as well Bliss on Toast. That's the name of the book. It's got different types, 75 recipes that you can assemble and put together. Not for yourself, you know, bring along a loved one, you know, your child, your niece, your nephew, and enjoy, of course, trying out all these good recipes. All our thanks to, of course, the great British Bake Off judge, Dame Prue Lieth.